I traded for a horse one time. He wouldn't take no beauty prize. He's a great big long-geared blue roan gelding, not too bad for weight or size. I was needing to make some tough old circles, so the trader guaranteed he'd show me lots of country and not need too much rest or feed. Now this here ain't no kid horse, but he'll pack you up the creek. He will hump up on some occasions, and he has been known to kick, so I wouldn't trade him to just anyone without having some remorse. But mister, if you're a sure enough cowpuncher, he's just your kind of horse. So I stepped on him the next morning. He began to buck and bawl, and that trader maybe hadn't lied none, but he hadn't told it all, because we tore up the country as he throwed a wall-eyed fit, and I most up run out of handholds before he finally quit. It sort of set a pattern. Things never seemed to change. Oh, he showed me lots of country, every corner of the range. Every time I'd ride him, he'd have me sitting tight. I'd make at least 3 bronc rides before he'd pack me home at night, which would have been okay with lots of ponies that I'd knowed, but this one had my number. I just barely got him rode. And the thing that really spooked me, put a damper on my pride, was that he was learning how to buck faster than I was learning how to ride. So we pulled into camp one evening. It was getting sort of late, and I saw a gray horse in the corral in the saddle by the gate. I looked this gray horse over, and it liked just what I'd seen. A kid shows up around the barn. He'd been about 16. He said, I lamed that gray this morning coming down off Granite Grade, and he asked me if I had a horse I'd maybe like to trade. He said he didn't have the time to stop and rest and let him heal, and since beggars can't be choosers, he'd make most any kind of deal. Well, when a feller's trading horses, most anything is fair, so I traded him my blue roan for his gray horse then and there. Then my conscience got to hurting when I thought of what I did to trade a fly-blown dink like that off on some little wet-nosed kid. So next morning after breakfast, I tells him, listen, lad, you want to know the truth? That trade you made last night was bad. That blue horse is a rascal. He's as bad a one as you'll see. He'll stomp you, kick you, stampede. He's as sorry as he can be. It's all I can do to ride him, and I'll tell it to you straight. I think you'll be awful lucky just to ride him past the gate. Now, there's 2 or 3 old horses down in that saddle bunch, and they ain't got a whole lot going for them, but I kind of got a hunch that they'll get you where you're going if you just don't crowd them none. But, man, I'd hate to see you get that blue roan devil, son. He said, I told you there last night I'd make most any kind of trade, so I appreciate your telling me the bad mistake I made. Now, my daddy told me when you're trading, it makes no difference how you feel, and even if you take a beating, a deal is still a deal. That horse, you say, got lots of travel, and he's not too bad for speed, and well, sir, I'm kind of in a bind, and that's exactly what I need. I traded for him fair and square, and darn his blue roan hide. When I pull out of camp this morning, that's the horse I'm going to ride. So I watched him cincing up his saddle, pull his hat way down. He stepped right up into that rigging like he's going straight to town. Then he sticks both his spurs up in his shoulders, sets that blue roan hair to flying, pulls his hat way back and screamed like a hungry mountain lion. Yee-haw! That's my favorite part of the poem. I've heard a lot of stories about the bucking horse ballet. I've heard of poetry in motion, but the ride I saw that day just plumb complete defies description, though I still can see it plain. Like it happened in slow motion and was branded on my brain. I don't suppose I could explain it to you, even if I tried. The only thing that I can say is, by the saints, that kid could ride. He sat up there plumb relaxed like he's laying home in bed. Every jump the pony made, he's half a jump ahead. When it was over, I decided I could learn a few things still. And he said, son, I'm awful sorry. I misjudged your riding skill. He said, shucks, mister, that's okay. And he headed on his way. But if you think this horse can buck, don't put your saddle on that gray.